Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadhalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanu Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayan Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Izmira Hasara Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulasi Devi Ai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramu 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 Hare Hare. So first of all I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradattama Shri Guru Pada Padama Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajaka Charya Stotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva, and to my most worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajaka Charya Stotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vigyana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudev and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So today we are going to read an article by my Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Goswami Maharaj. The title is The Exoteric Meaning of Annakuta. So, in the year 1949, Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Goswami Maharaj, along with his god brothers and disciples, observed Kartik Vrata in Ayodhya, birthplace of Lord Ram. On 22nd October 1949, on the occasion of Annakuta Mahotsav, he delivered the following short discourse. There is a mantra in the Shruti that proclaims, Anam Vai Brahma. Food or food grain, Anna, is identical to the supreme transcendental entity, Brahma Vastu. One must realize the meaning of Shruti through Vidya Drudi Vritti, a profoundly learned understanding of its direct meaning. The meaning of Ruddhi Vritti is direct or primary meaning. When this term is further qualified by the adjective Vidwad, means learned, it becomes the esoteric direct meaning. So everything in Vedas have these two aspects. We discussed this many times, direct, indirect meanings. Now we are just hearing with another technical term. What is that? Vidwad Ruddhi Vritti. So So in general terms, anna means food grains or food in general. And there is this verse in Upanishad which says, Anam Vai Brahma, means Anna is Brahma. So we can conclude in a simple way that this Anna Vai Brahma, it should be understood that, of course, rice, beans, any other type of grains, they're not identical to the Supreme One, right? How can we consider that? So the implicit meaning here is that this anna must be prashadam. Because there is no point of human beings feeding themselves without prashadam. It is inconceivable in the Vedic culture. So therefore, of course, that prashadam is no different from Brahma, from the transcendental spiritual being. So saying that, we can continue here. If we assume that this mantra simply indicates the superficial meaning of the word anna, food grain, it will only intensify our tendency to enjoy this world and maintain our aversion to Krishna, which is typical of conditioned souls like us. The food grain, anna, that is born of material nature can never be referred to as transcendental substance, Brahma. Yet, the foodstuffs that are offered to Sri Hari are Brahmavat Nirvikaram, Hi Jata Vishnu Stateva Tat, like Brahma, devoid of any transformation. They are directly Sri Vishnu himself. So when you offer the food to Krishna, what happened? That food becomes spiritualized, transcendental. Krishna's own Shakti is being placed there. What is that Shakti? It's called Kripa Shakti, because prashada means mercy, right? Okay. And in the sense that what I told before, Vedas does not conceive any food without being offered first. Otherwise, if we say Anna Bhai Brahma, people can think, I don't need to offer. This fruit is already directly coming from God, is not different from God, so why should I offer that? So, and then it becomes logical that it's not talking about the unoffered food, but only the offered food. The transcendental entity is certainly Brahma, and in its form as sound vibration, Shabda, it is received through the ears. For this reason, it is known as Shabda Brahma. Similarly, in the term Anna Brahma, from the above mantra, Anna food grain can only truly mean Harikatha, for only Harikatha provides the soul with a spiritual satisfaction and nourishment, dispelling the soul's hunger. If we accept transcendental Anna or Harikatha, our soul will be enlivened as it blossoms into full maturity. This alone is direct prashadam or mercy of Bhagavan. We can make it our aim to accept Harikatha as our true Bhagavat Prashad. So this is the actually pinnacle of the article. The article is all about Parang Gurudev saying that actually the real food, that is the soul food, the transcendental food that we need. This is not rice and things, but this is especially Harikatha. That can nourish our soul. That prashadam, that real mercy, can nourish our soul. And he's comparing that with Shabda Brahma. There are two types of Shabda. Shabda means sound. One is Shabda Brahma, another is Shabda Samanya. Shabda Samanya means material sound, and Shabda Brahma means transcendental sound. So that Shabda Brahma comes in the form of Harikatha or in the form of mantra, and it comes directly from the Supreme Lord. And it enters in our ears and then goes directly to our heart and nourishes our soul. In the same way, the food as prashadam also is nourishing our soul, not our body. Our body needs rice, beans, vegetables, milk, but the soul needs what? Prasadam. The only way the soul can be nourished and become strong, healthy, it's by taking prasadam. In which form? In any form. Being through the medium of food, being through the medium of sound, means harikatha. We should always try to take prasadam. So this anna in the form of harikatha is certainly the transcendental entity Brahma, because harikatha is directly Sri Hari. The perfect philosophical conclusions of the Vedic scriptures confirm that the meaning of the word Brahma exclusively refers to Lord Vishnu. The Mahajans of previous times, along with our Guru Varga, caused the jubilation of Sri Radha Govinda's senses Radha Govinda's senses to swell. Go means senses, to swell means vardhana, means to increase. In ever novel ways by making an Annakuta or mountain of Anna in the form of Harikatha. So now what Param Gurudev is saying, Annakuta Mahotsav means Harikatha Mahotsav. That Harikatha Mahotsav, that mountain of Harikatha, that is doing what? That is increasing our bliss and the happiness of Krishna as well. They have worshipped Sri Radha Govinda in this way. Today, on the auspicious day of Sri Govardhan Puja and the Annakuta Mahotsav, our sole activity is to glorify Sri Radha Govinda. So, Govardhan means Ananda Vardhan, means increasing the happiness, increasing the bliss of whom? Oh, Radha and Krishna, all Vrajabasis, all devotees, and especially Giriraj Govardhan. So if you really want to please Giriraj Govardhan, if you really want to please Radha and Krishna, then you must speak Harikatha. Only by food that won't be so pleasant to them. That is the message implicit here. Sometimes people reduce this Annakuta Mahotsav as only food Mahotsav. Only Prashada Mahotsav. Okay, it's good, we should offer. Krishna did that. But before what Krishna did, Krishna spoke Harikatha. He glorified Giriraj Govardhan. He convinced Nanda Baba to worship Giriraj by what? Revealing the glories of Giriraj Govardhan to Nanda Baba. So he spoke Harikatha. So in that way, Nanda Baba, he was convinced. And then, in this way, Govardhan is also pleased. So if you really are willing to glorify Govardhan, then Harikatha must be there. Harikatha Mahotsav, non-stop Harikatha. Also speaking 10-20 minutes is not enough. He's saying mountain of Harikatha. Minimum 2-3 hours Harikatha in Annakuta. Yes, otherwise Krishna will not be satisfied. His belly will not be full with Harikatha like that. So the next one. Sri Govardhan is the best of Sri Hari's servants. Haridasa Varja. Although Govardhan is Ashraya Vigraha, the abode of love for Krishna, devotees see him as Vishaya Vigraha, the object of that love, or Krishna himself. The Gandhaki Shila or Shalagram Shila is directly worshipped as Sri Narayana. In the same way, the Govardhana Shila is worshipped as Krishna himself. Govardhana Dhari Shri Krishna, the lifter of Govardhan mountain, and Govardhan are one and the same entity. Yet that unmatched intense greed to please Krishna's senses, go, known as Krishna Kama or Krishna Priti, which forever swells Vardhana to new heights, is indeed Govardhan. Govardhan is a symbol of the ever-increasing what? Happiness of Krishna. The mountain-like tallest, representing what? The happiness, not only of Krishna, but all Vrajavasis. They're always happy. They're always celebrating. In this way, he's saying here, no? That unmatched, intense greed to please Krishna's senses forever swells. Is indeed what? Govardhan. So Govardhan is there to what? To satisfy Krishna, to please Krishna. And here, Param Gurudev is saying, he is not only Haridas Varja. That is, to being a servant of Krishna is only one aspect of Govardhan. He is also Krishna himself. Therefore, we call him Giriraj Maharaj. His Swarup is also Krishna. Krishna has accepted the offerings of the Vrajavasis through Govardhan. In other words, Krishna was telling to the Vrajavasis, don't worship the demigods, worship me. Worship me. And then he took it through Govardhan. Because he don't want this opulent mood in Vrindavan, so he does not want to be worshipped as God. But at the same time, he has to be establishing that God is above the demigods and everything. So in this way, he's taking the shape of Giriraj Govardhan. So instead of performing the worship of demigods like Indra or of demigoddesses, we must worship Govardhan in every way. These are truly the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in Manashiksha, he also advised us, always worship Giriraj Govardhan. Why? Because he can bestow Krishna Prem. He can bestow Krishna Prem. And that's why Mahaprabhu gave him Govardhana Shila to worship. So actually, who is Giriraj Govardhan? He is the shelter for our Gauriya Sampradaya. He is the very shelter of our Gauriya Sampradaya. Most of our acharyas, especially the Goswamis, they came to take shelter of Giriraj Govardhan. My Gurudev, and so many others, they had so much attachment for Giriraj Govardhan. And Giriraj Govardhan, he gave mercy to whom? To Madhavendra Puripad. Who is Madhavendra Puripad? He is the first sprout of prema, of viraha bhav, the mood of separation of the gopis, especially Srimati Radhika in this world. Even before the time of Mahaprabhu, he is the one who has anchored this in this planet. And where he was there, taking shelter of Govardhan. He was completely what? Skinny, weak, and not eating and drinking anything. He made a vow only to drink milk if someone gives to him. He would never ask for. And knowing that, Krishna has come to him in the form of a small boy, cowherd boy, and brought him some milk, saying, Baba, my mother sent you this milk, you please drink because you're very skinny. You look very terrible. And after all, in our village, no one fasts. Here, every day is Mahotsav. Everyone is fat and strong. No one is performing any austerities type of here. We don't like seeing this thing. So please, you drink this and be strong. And after what happened? He drank that milk and he became senseless. He was feeling so much waves of prema in his body. Then he had a dream with Gopal, saying that, telling him to rescue him from the bush because he was being kept there since the time of the Muslim invasion. So in this way, who is giving this mercy? This is Giriraj Govardhan. Then he established the temple of Srinath Ji. That is the deity of Gopal found. He established on top of Govardhan. This is very symbolic, very symbolic. That movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started there, on top of Giriraj Govardhan. Then after that, the line started. Ishvara Puripad came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, all our Goswamis came, and they all went to Govardhan and took shelter there, especially the Goswamis. Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad, he performed parikrama of Govardhan almost every day. Before, no one would do it at that time. It was a big jungle. Hardly people understood the glories of that place, hardly. As well as of the whole Brajamandala, very few understood. So one of the services Mahaprabhu gave to the Goswamis was to rescue the pastime places of Radha and Krishna, establish the deities, the temples, and preach that, and propagate and make the Brajabasis very aware of the glories of that place. Therefore, Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad, he became known as the Boro Baba. And he used to walk every day in that area of Govardhan, making friendship with others, locals. Sometimes speaking ordinary things like Ramya Katha. How is your family? How is your business? How is your animals? How is your farm? How is this? How is that? To make friendship, to become friendly to all of them, to inspire trust. Not feeling that he is very high and he only speaks Harikatha. No, this is not the mood of Gauriyas. Gauriyas are coming down to the level of the people. And first of all, making friendship, then building faith, building love and affection, then preaching after. Sometimes when we are very enthusiastic for preaching and very fanatic, we start like yelling on people and throwing arrows of Siddhanta on people, and what we expect, they will be surrender to us immediately. They will fight back. So this is not the way. The way is to captivate by friendship and affection. My Gurudev always used to say, you can only chastise before you offer the same amount or more of love to someone. So before you start preaching and saying many things to someone, you must at first make friendship, so that person can at least have some regard and listen from you. Otherwise, you just like be blowing air, So in this way, Govardhan is very special. Giriraj Govardhan is very special. And you can see here, he's not different from Krishna himself. But you can also understand, as my Gurudev has pointed, that Giriraj is actually not from a male body. He's actually of a female body. It became a matter of a big controversy, when Gurudev revealed all these things. Even if you ask Madhav Maharaj and others nowadays, they will not tell he's a female. They try to justify as a male because it becomes too much for the general people to understand all these things. Just like Jiva Goswami, he was preaching Swakiya Bhav. He was not preaching Parakya Bhav because of the general populace. So, but Gurudev has established that. Why? Because Giriraj Govardhan comes from the heart of Srimati Radhika. There is a verse in the what is that? Bhavishya Purana, which says Manasa Prakrite Jata Sri Giri Govardhano Mohan. Manasa Prakrite Jata. Manasa means from the mind or heart. Manasa also means mind, heart. Manasa Prakrite Jata, manifested. What? Sri Giri Govardhana Mohan. From the heart of Srimati Radhika has manifested this Giriraj Govardhan. So if it's coming from the heart of Srimati Radhika, it is definitely Shakti, not Purush. And Srimati Radhika has manifested that in order to give the highest pleasure to Krishna. and to create the best environment for Krishna. As well as the whole of Vrindavan is no different from Srimati Radhika. It's a very important siddhanta to understand. Sometimes we say that Krishna Dham, Krishna paraphernalias, the bodies of the Dhamvasis, it's all made by Sandhini Shakti, which is presided by Baladev Prabhu, right? But what is the subtle thing here? Sandhini is not Baladev. Sandhini is presided by Baladev. Sandhini is still a Shakti. It is coming from Radharani, not coming from Baladev. Baladev has no Shakti. He is not a Shakti. As well as Chit Shakti and Samvit Shakti and Ladini Shakti. They all coming from Swarupa Shakti. They are functions of Swarupa Shakti. But Krishna presides over Samvit, Baladev presides over Sandhini, and Radharani presides over Ladini. But they are still all Radharani's Shaktis. So Vrindavan itself is manifested by Srimati Radhika herself. So this is all Shakti. Sandhini is a Shakti. So in this way, Giriraj Govardhan, he's able to witness the most astonishing pastimes of Radha Krishna. What is that? Pramodha Madana Lila Kandare Kandarete. What Giriraj Govardhan is witnessing? Pramodha Madana Lila. He's witnessing what? The most astonishing Leelas. Pramodha Madana Lila of Radha and Krishna. And that becomes what? That becomes the most intimate relation between Radha and Krishna. So even the Sakhas cannot be there in the caves of Giriraj Govardhan when Radha and Krishna are together. So if Giriraj was a male person, how he could be witnessing all these things? So therefore, the gopis are there with Krishna alone and not shy of Govardhan because he's Sakhi. He's not a Sakha or a Dasa. He's a Dasi. He's a Dasi. So in the book Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad, he has addressed the Manjaris as being like the Kamadhenus. Kamadhenu means that cow who can fulfill all desires. Kamdhenu. So Manjaris are also Kamdhenu. Why? Because they can fulfill all Radha Krishna's desires. In all rasas, in all aspects, they can do it. So in this way, Giriraj Govardhan, he's also Kamdhenu. He can serve Radha Krishna in all rasas. All rasas, from top to bottom. From Shanta to Madhurya, Radha Dasyam. So Giriraj is also Kamdhenu. And during the pastime of Krishna lifting Govardhan, Govardhan Dharan Lila, the 12 rasas were displayed during that Lila. So this is the most complete Lila, where all the 12 rasas, what is the 12 rasas? The 5 primary rasas, Shanta, Dasa, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhur, and the 7 secondary rasas. Hasa, Birya, Adabhuta, and others. Means laughter, chivalry, fear, bhaya, and astonishment, adbhut, and laughter, hasya, and like that. There are a number of 7. So during the 7 days of Giriraj Lila, Govardhan Lila, these 12 rasas were manifested there. So therefore, it is the most complete Lila, which has everything. Because everyone is together. This is the only time that everyone is together. All Brajabasis, without exception, even the animals, everyone is concentrated in one point. What is that point? Under the umbrella of Giriraj Govardhan. So Giriraj Govardhan is the shelter for all. And that is now, now let us understand one thing. It may seem to be contradictory. I don't know if you have already thought that, but we're saying that Giriraj Govardhan is not different from Krishna. Giriraj Maharaj, his Swarup. But I just said that he manifested from Radharani's heart. He is also Dasi, not different from Radharani. And how could that be? So the answer is that who is in Radharani's heart? That is Govinda. That is Krishna. So that Giriraj came from the heart of Radharani. So actually, the real mood of Gauriyas is not to worship him only as Krishna or Krishna Das, but as Radha and Krishna. So often you see Lala and Lali. This worship of Govardhan means two Shilas together. One worshipped as Radha, one is worshipped as Krishna. So Giriraj is so astonishing, so merciful, that he has the combined form of Ashray and Vishay altogether. Ashray means the devotee side, the devotion. And Vishay means the receiver of that devotion, the enjoyer of that devotion. Krishna is Vishay, Radharani is Ashray. But Giriraj Govardhan makes both combined together. What is the only other manifestation of this tattva in DT form? You can answer that.
Mahaprabhu?
Mahaprabhu, yes, but I would say the other one, which is Radha Vinoda Bihari. Yes, Radha Vinoda Bihari. Radha Vinoda Bihari is this combination. Why not Mahaprabhu? Because Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Mahaprabhu is Krishna with something of Srimati Radhika. But Radha Vinoda Bihari, this is the full combination. This is the full combination. And so in this way, we have here this combination also in this article. This is Parangurudev, the one who manifested Radha Vinoda Bihari, now also manifesting Govardhan's also Swarup to us. So in this way, we must worship Giriraj Govardhan. The worship of Giriraj Govardhan is mandatory in our Gauriya. Mandatory. I wish I should always have one Govardhan Shila with me. And the thing I most miss is this Govardhan Shila. Before I used to carry with me all the time. From 2014 to 2013, 13, 14, 16. For 3 years, I carried with me one Shalagram, one Govardhan Shila. Everywhere I went, preaching everywhere, whole world, I was carrying him. And everywhere I was doing Annakuta Mahotsav. But finally, I had to leave it somewhere because it did not belong to me. I took from some temple. And when I left that place, I had to leave it there. So anyway, I just continue, traveling and did not pick up anymore one. But every place I go for program, I do Annakuta Mahotsav. No matter what time of the year, anytime, I do it. And glorify Govardhan. And engage all devotees in cooking. Myself, I also cook. I like to prepare this rabri. You know rabri? Rabri means that condensed milk. Very thick condensed milk that you often see people in Vrindavan on the streets, they're cooking. And as they're boiling that milk, some thick layers will start coming. And they will push that to the side of the oak, So, and then that will start, coming around and then drying, gradually drying. So they will put all these layers of dry milk, condensed milk around, and when that juice becomes very thick, they would drop inside those things. Those layers become like a lasagna, and like a floating lasagna made out of milk, inside milk. I mean, nectar. And then you add slight sugar only, little bit sugar, a little bit of curcuma, means this turmeric, just for the yellow color. And you can add or not, if you like, camphor or cardamom, elaichi. Then it's very good, very tasty. I call this the supreme nectar. Yes, and just a small amount, of course, we cannot make much. And then I give a little bit every devotee after this Mahaprasad, and everyone goes to go look, taste in this essence. Actually, the essence of Vrindavan is condensed milk. The taste of Vrindavan, this is condensed milk. Why is that? Because cows are eating what? Grasses, herbs, fruits, everything which grows directly from the earth of Vrindavan. Means that transformation of Vrindavan's earth. Then they are being eaten by the cows. Then the cows are digesting that and transforming into blood, and that blood is transformed into milk, and then that milk comes to us, and then when we condense it, that becomes the very essence of the whole taste of Vrindavan combined there. Yes, like refining, process of refining this taste. But if you take just a handful of dirt or soil from it, then you try to eat it, you won't feel taste. Not tasty at all. But by that process, coming from one stage to another, from ground to trees to plants, then cows are eating, cows are digesting, and cows are making the alchemy. You know alchemy? Cows are making the alchemy and giving this nectar as milk. And then again, you are cooking, more alchemy is there, putting fire. Fire is the greatest ingredient, actually, transforms everything. Some foolish people in the West, they say the fire destroys the food, the fire destroys everything. No, this is foolishness. Fire transforms and gives another type of power in that. The people who only like raw food, they will become crazy very soon. Because we need the power of fire, really. We need this agni. And it's not killing the food, it is transforming the food, giving other properties to that food. They say fire destroys. You can boil for hours and hours and hours some poisonous herb. And what will happen? You drink it, you die. Fire does not kill all these things. Fire does not kill everything. Fire is transforming many things and can make something become nectar, something become poison. Depends on how you are processing that. So in this way, we should always increase our attachment for Giriraj Govardhan and worship him day and night, meditate on him. Because he's the condensed form of all aspects altogether. He's so merciful. At the same time, he's the object of our devotion. He's Radha and Krishna. At the same time, he's the servants of Radha and Krishna. He's also teaching us how to serve them. He's also giving us bhakti. He's inspiring our heart. So if you worship Giriraj Govardhan, you become very sweet person. Like Brajavasis. Very sweet persons. Not these Brajavasis right now here, living here. I'm seeing the transcendental Brajavasis. I found something very interesting in one purport of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I just remember now. He's saying about the people who live nowadays in the Dham. Let me see if I find here. This is the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur of the Ras Panchadai, and he's commenting on the verse number 10 of the second chapter. And then at that point, what happened is that Krishna left the gopis, and gopis begin to search for Krishna. And the gopis, they begin to ask to different entities about Krishna's whereabouts. So first they ask to the very tall trees because they can see far, but they give no answer. Then they enter in the gardens and they begin to ask to the little short trees and the bushes with flowers. They also began they became silent. Then they go to the then they go to Tulasi. Then they ask. Then Tulasi is also silent. Then Tulasi again. Then Tulasi give advice and say, no, ask to the earth, Prithvi, because Prithvi is always having Krishna's feet touching, so she must know where he is. Then Prithvi also not answer. So anyway, then in a purport, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, one Sakhi said to the others, oh, these trees must be completely absorbed in meditating on Vishnu, and hence they are not able to hear our question. Or perhaps they are not responding to us because they are hard-natured, as residents of the holy places generally are. Alas, how will you determine which one knows where Shri Krishna's location is? So what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying here, that the inhabitants of the Dhamma have hard nature. They are harsh. So in this way, but Giriraj Govardhan is going to make us what? Very soft, very sweet, very fragrant, very nice, with good manners. And he increase our bhakti. Our bhakti will be what? Vardhana. Our bhakti will swell. So in this way, Giriraj is our only shelter, really, only shelter. So I hope when I meet all of you, we can perform one Annakuta Mahotsav, and we can describe this pastime from beginning to end, and so many other things are there to share. So I think then Isha Thakurani Mataji, she can cook many varieties of pizza and pasta and all Italian dishes. For Giriraj, a mountain of pasta. And Giriraj will be most happy. Okay, so we're going to stop here. Hare Krishna.